Hello everyone, it's Monday all day, and it's not too cold, but it's kind of bone chilling. It's very peculiar because the temperatures aren't as awful as they have actually been, but it is very cold. So it was a busy weekend, just lots of regular barn chores and getting things organised on the both farms really. Uncle Bud came to see Carleen, which was lovely, and it's busy. We've got, today was just another day of barn chores. Carleen went out for lunch with Ann Peterson, and her INR is still too high, and so she went out to have salad. But she is not to have salad for the rest of the week, and she will miss tonight's tablet. So, there. So she's been out and about today, and that was great. I've been in the barn with all of the animals, and then the hay is coming at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Oh boy. And that will be a very big job, and it will be very early in the morning to be lifting very heavy stuff, but hey, that's just the way it goes. So today, Arthur looks like he's been a bit of a silly boy, and I am presuming there's no damage to either his leg or his hoof or his sole, but when I went in to palpate round about the frog and the sole of his hoof, he was very ouchy. So it could be a couple of things at least. The ground here is frozen into ridges where the mud, their feet have sunk into the mud, and so there's like a crater and then high ridges around the outside. I would suggest that it was particularly comfortable to walk on for the donkeys, but walk they will, and he's either got a bruised sole, which can be, it's like walking on a bruise all the time, or he and his band of merry men have been having a carry-on, and I don't know if you've noticed for the last couple of days, they're absolutely nuts in that arena. They're jumping up on their back legs and wrestling with each other. That's just what young donkeys do. But this what are I don't know whether or not the weather has raised its temperatures and they're like, wee, here we go. It's almost like springtime. But goodness gracious, they seem so silly. So it doesn't really surprise me that he's hurt his hoof. But the leg is not damaged, and he is lying down a bit more. Last I saw of him, he was outside standing eating hay. He's going to be stalled overnight, and he will have his hot dinner, a hay bag and water and soft bedding, so he will go for a little sleep overnight to keep him out of mischief. Arthur, we think, is very prone to foot problems. When he was rescued, it was down in South Carolina, and Janine had terrible problems getting his feet sorted because it took a long time for her to get him in good enough order to transport up. And he seems to be prone to things happening to his feet. And my goodness, does he tell you that he is not a happy camper? He's very good at coming and going, look, ow. So he's some boy, honestly. So I'm not overly concerned about him at the moment, and it's just going to be a few days of waiting to see, how this presents. Could also be an abscess that's working his way out, because he seems to be very prone to abscesses as well. Now, abscesses take a number of days before they come, they emerge, and the pressure is released, and then they're comfortable again. I can't see any sign of an abscess, but that doesn't mean anything with Arthur and his legs. So he's he's going to tell us about it, but he's not desperately awful as of yet. I'm always a bit worried about overusing pain relief, because pain relief sometimes masks what's going on, and it can either do one of two things. It can help keep them active, and then they can work out, and if it's an infection through an abscess, it can work itself out. Or the other thing is, if it's bruising on the bottom of his feet, it gives him a bit of a false sense of comfort, and he keeps on jumping around on them. So he's not desperately in pain, because he does like lying down and eating hay. So we'll keep him comfortable and keep a good eye on him. And I also have, on the theme of feet, a chicken with a foot that she is drawing up into her body. I lifted her and examined it, and there doesn't appear to be anything wrong with the feet. It is exceptionally icy out there, and it looks like she may have clipped one of her nails, because they scratch on the ice, and I'm wondering if she's maybe caught it. Everything else, she's in good condition and she's in good spirits, and she's still laying eggs, so she seems actually to be pretty much a-okay, but she's obviously hurt her foot in some way. I'm doing really well with feet. So I watched her, and she was roosting outside, and there's a lot of ice kicking around still. It was so thick, I'm not sure that we're going to get rid of all of it. And I took my cleats off, and I keep finding those random little bits of ice, and I have a little slip, and I think, oh, I should have put my cleats on. But then when I go inside, I have a terrible time, because I slip and slide all over the place. And in fact, I took Willow to the co-op for a little training session on Saturday, and I'll never do that again. I had my cleats on, and Willow is, she's pretty excited. There's a lot of dogs in there, and a very slippy surface. I could have been skiing behind the dog, put it that way. So we left pretty sharpish, and then we met a planter in the shape of a pig outside, and she wouldn't walk past it. She was horrified. So we spent quite a long time introducing ourselves to the pig-shaped planter. So that was quite interesting. And what else is going on? Yeah, Boom. Sharon is taking Boom for his injections. She's going to get up to date, because he is going in to board and train on Wednesday, I think, and he'll be there for at least a week, and he will be working on leash work and recall, because that's what we really need for him. He's not a puppy, he's very big, and he's exceptionally strong. Still a really lovely dog. So we need to get on top of this issue. He's probably much, much heavier than Janine, I would suggest. And it's too much for Carleen to deal with, because also she's got Willow. So I think instead of us, tying ourselves down with yet another thing that we're trying to cope with, I think this is probably the best thing to do is to outsource and see how we get on with his initial training, and then we'll take it from there. And I think that's the most sensible thing to do, because everybody's got so much going on at the moment. And in other interesting news, Angus, we think, is going to be arriving in Aiken today, which means that Flower missed the transport. So Flower will not be going down, but Angus will be down there with his family and his other horses. So that's very good. And that means we might bring Flower back here, but then again we might not. So I think I would prefer to bring Flower back here, because she's. I was holding out until the 15th, because I thought, poor Peanut, she's been peace and quiet without Flower, and then Flower followed her to Meredith. So I might bring Flower back, because she is, as we know, she can be a bit spicy. So I think she'll come back. But the problem is, Now that the hay is coming first thing in the morning, we'll have to hook up Carlene's car to the small trailer, and the horse trailer that is, the 2-stall, and we'll have to take that over and have it in place for first thing tomorrow morning, which is all well and good, but I will be bringing back 80 bales of hay, and there will not be room for Flower to come back. So that will be super interesting. I could probably walk her if it's not too slippy, but I don't really have time to do that either, because tomorrow morning I've got barn chores here, obviously, and then we've got all the hay coming in at 7 o'clock. Then we have Pilgrim House, I think, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then obviously barn chores. So that's very exciting. And Carol, I am hoping, is going to meet us at Pilgrim House tomorrow. I'm trying to enlist Carlene to come with us as well. So we will take at least a dog, if not 2, and the rabbit. So that will be very exciting. It'll be a very busy day tomorrow. And I can't remember if we've got a job on Wednesday or if it's Thursday and Friday. Oh, it might be Wednesday. I think it might be Rockport on Wednesday. And oh, good grief, I don't know how I'm going to get to Rockport. Might be better going on a boat. But we'll work that one out as well. So that's us up to date with what we've got going on here. And those turkeys are producing eggs. Well, that female turkey through there, she's producing eggs like nobody's business. And the little black chicken in the cow barn, she's producing an egg a day as well. So Carlene is delighted. And if you've noticed that the arena hasn't been very full, it's because Woody sometimes likes to go into a stall, so I just feed him in there and leave him. He's quite happy. And then the 2 mini horses took themselves off into a stall yesterday as well, so I just left them there. The arena has been, these donkeys, honestly, they're if they're not sleeping, they're wrestling. So I've just left everybody where they've fallen, really, because they seem to be happy with that. Carlene received a lovely box of oranges. I did not open it. I gave it straight to Carlene, and so I'm not sure who sent it because I didn't look inside for a name. She also received 2 Amazon packages. Now, there's Carlene White on them and not Goldy's Farm. So I did ask her if she'd ordered them, and she wasn't very sure. So they're also over there. So apologies if it was something for Goldy's Farm. They're all in Carlene's house, and she is supervising Nick at the moment, who's doing the repair in her house. I said, "Are you going to come to mail chat?" And she went, "No, I'm feeding the dogs." And I said, "And then what are you doing?" She went, "Well," and I said, "Are you supervising Nick?" She said, "Yes." So she's supervising Nick and waiting for her food to be delivered, I think, as well. So that's good. And I think what else is happening. And Nick's ducks are crazy. They're just flying all over the place. We've opened up one of the ponds, and they're a bit shocked because they go in, and then obviously there's a small bit of water on top of the ice, and they're like, splash, splash. This is great, but rather solid. So it's like wandering around in a puddle at the moment, but they'll be just fine. Now, let me have a look at these. Okay. Yes, 38 was the high today. It didn't feel like 38, and that's unusual coming from me. And the Griddy chicken is A-okay, but she's obviously hurt her foot. Her INR was checked, and it's 3.2, so she's still 0.2 over. And oh, good. So the thermometer is actually reading properly, so that's good. Yes, that's why it's good that the hay's coming in at 7 in the morning, and that the Pilgrim House job is at 2. I have heard from Janine. She's running around like a headless chicken with my 2 lovely chickens, who she says are fantastic. She said that she drove with the chickens and she got to DC, and not only did she take the chickens in, but they also gifted her cousin 2 eggs. So there. See? Half chickens will travel and make friends and omelets. So that's fantastic. She's very pleased with the chickens. They're very chatty and very charming ladies. And she has deployed the chicken house that used to be outside in the tiny paddock beside the donkey cafe. And she had that and has made a run with a roof over it so that there's no airborne problems. And then they will sleep in the little chicken house at night time. So that's her all sorted with her chicken empire. You see, the problem is when you start with a couple of chickens, that's when you find that you end up with a lot more. So, and I've got 2 chickens I'm working with in the house at the moment. Oh, so they're hot meals that they get. I just call them hot meals. It's a hot mash. So every morning you'll see me, and in the evening you'll see me wandering over at the water outside Carlene's house, because that's hot water. So in fact, it's very hot water. So I bring that over here, and I use medless pellets, which are a combination of barley sprouts, alfalfa, and some, I think it's oat hay, and I rehydrate them so that they're like, it's like green porridge. So they all dissolve into a sort of like mass of chopped porridge, and then I add into that. Arthur gets a cup of balancer, and the balancer is a mineral and vitamin supplement that balances everything out that's in their body, and that is maybe lacking in the hay that they eat from the hay bag. So our animals are all forage based. And that means that they've got free access to hay, and that is the main part of their diet. And we supplement specific animals. So you'll see that the donkeys in Dimitri and Magnus and also Charlie, they get forage pellets, and they get them spread out around about in the arena. So Arthur is still on a hot mash because we're making sure that he is maintaining his weight as best possible. Now, I did speak to Dr. Parrott a couple of months ago about his weight, about concerns that we had that he was looking rather on the thin side, and he actually said he's actually in exceptionally good condition, and it's just he is a bit hippie, and that might just be the way he is. He's not skinny on the side of on his flanks, that much I can tell you. So he gets extra supplementation, mostly because he's actually a mammoth donkey, and being the biggest breed of donkey, it's important to make sure that he is as fit and healthy as we possibly can get him. You know, given Arthur's best attempts not to be fit and healthy. So if he has that, then my 2 little mini horses, they get some mash, which is the pellets that are with the hot water, and they also get a cup of balancer between them, because we have to remember that Sterling is actually very young and he's still setting bones and growing. And Delight is just happy to have a hot breakfast, so she joins in too. Woody has hot mash every day with he gets the same as Arthur, but he gets a cup of balancer, but he gets a little bit less in the forage department because he's a smaller standard donkey. My little Miss Jenny, as we all know, she gets fed in the aisle, because otherwise her best buddy, Elvis, he eats her dinner. So she gets fed in the aisle, and she has hot mash, and she has cow ration in hers, which gives her all of the vitamins and minerals that cows need. And Elvis also has the same, but he doesn't get quite the same as much as her because he's actually far heavier than she is. So she has that. The chickens just have regular chicken feed and water, and somebody very kindly sent us a small bag of scratch grains. So they get scratch grains outside, and that's probably, when they were scratching at the ground, that's probably when she pulled her nail on her foot. Our goats have hot mash as well in the morning and in the evening, and they have all stock, and all stock is for goats, alpacas, and these sorts of animals, and that balances their diet and keeps them fit and healthy, and I can tell you they are fit and healthy. Then the turkeys just get all flock feed, so they're quite happy eating that. Although I am keeping an eye on Mr. Tom Turkey because sometimes he doesn't let his lovely lady friend come in and eat because he's a bit of a stinker. So there, have I missed any animals out? The rabbits, they get just about everything. They get dried carrots, dried peas, they have second cut hay, which is very rich. They have rabbit pellets, they have these medlar pellets. What else do they have? They have rose hips, they have dandelions, and there's something else. So there, they've got, oh, hay cubes. I guess they're hay cubes because they're hard. They also have in their stall, they have wood logs to chew on to try and keep their teeth in good condition, and they've got a very thick cardboard tube. And that's what they've got. So there. I know there's a pig in the farm, and Willow she just couldn't get past this planter. The most bizarre thing. Yes, it may be Denmark, Anne. That could be quite right. Well, we were rather surprised that Flower missed her trip to Aiken, and they left, and Janine was also rather surprised that they were coming down quite so early. She thought they were coming on the 15th, so they're coming earlier than was expected. So I presume she just kind of slipped through. They're maybe going down to the clinic and had to get there sooner rather than later. So, yeah. Thank you, Carol. I will see you tomorrow. Yes, Janine has a visit to the nursing facility tomorrow, I'm sure. Yes. Sharon did visit today, yes. So, don't start me about baby bunny watch. I have spent my very little free time Googling baby bunnies. And oh boy, yeah. So I was saying to Janine that I thought what might be quite nice is, I think because they're born quite so tiny and quite so naked, I thought we would put the heater on in here and then build a pen and put our Miss Madeline in here. I would like to keep him separate because I don't think she needs any stress or over amorous male bunnies. And he can stay down there, and she will hopefully, if she is going to give birth, we'll give birth down here so we can all keep an eye on them. But I think this is the best place for maintaining an ambient temperature, sort of. And so take it from there. I think I might build a rectangle with hay bales, actually, and try and get, this floor is terribly cold, so I'll have to get a good thick padding on that as well. Honestly, this is chaos. So that's very exciting. And I think the other thing is, I've been trying to look for signs that she is definitely pregnant, and she hasn't really started stripping hair off to make a little bed yet, so I'm going to leave them together for a bit longer. Everything is just fine, thank you. The Willow training going along. Well, we'll not talk about that. Oh my goodness. So there will be this camera here on the bunnies 24/7. So you can look after them instead of me panicking. I'll tell you. So, things you've never done in life. But, so that's what's going to be happening. And I think Boom will be back. He's up in Newburyport going to the vet for his vaccine, and then he'll be back and into Justin's with Mandy. What we are hoping to do with Willow, because Dana is actually going on vacation for 2 weeks. Honestly, doesn't ever go in a straight line, this place. So Dana is going on vacation for 2 weeks, which means that Willow will not be going with him overnight at this precise moment. Boom will be going away for a week, and we're going to try and bring Mandy into the house and see how she how she gets on with Sizzle in particular, and then integrate her as part of the pack. And then I think the plan is that Larky and Willow will go into the ICU, which gives them in and out space, and they can go and run their energy off, because Larky by himself is fantastic. Larky with Willow is total bedlam. He just wants to play with Willow, and she wants to play with him, and she's got that really high puppy energy. So it would be good, instead of that happening under Carlene's feet, if for the week that Boom's away, they can go and get that sorted out, and we can see what we can do with Mandy. So, there we go. I found Noodles ESL in the garden this morning, and when I let him out, he was like, oh, thank goodness, that's where I left it. I've actually got another video of him and his blinking lemon, and he takes it for a wee, he stands at the top of the hill at the back of the house, and he lets it roll down. He gives it a head start, and then he careers off down, goes to rescue it, and he brings it halfway up, then he lets it go, and it rolls down, and he's like, I'm coming! And he goes and rescues his blinking lemon. I've never come across a dog kind of thing for a lemon. And all the other dogs, they kept trying to pick it up, and they're like, they would just spit it back out there, but they're like, why would you want a lemon, Noodles? And the funny thing is, I was standing outside while they were all, he and Annie were wrestling. I was thinking, it's very fresh and citrusy out here. It's very pleasant, actually. So his lemon is still living. He did take it to bed the other day. Tell you, there's nothing worse than going into it. Noodles sleeps under the covers at the moment. He's an absolute mess. And eventually he gets too hot, and then he wanders off out. And then you get up in the morning, you realise you've been sleeping with the emotional support lemon. It's disgusting. Honestly, I think I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this dog and his lemon. Oh no, you'll probably see them. They'll be round about, because Carlene won't have them over there full time. Oh, I don't know. Can he turn on closed captioning? I will ask him. Yes, Noodles is self-exercising, which is very handy because he's got a lot of energy. Yes, that's what we're hoping, is that Mandy will be trainable for the outreaches. Yeah, I think we need to give the dogs the best possible chance to get on with things. So I think the board and train is actually a good idea. So the funny thing is, Noodles, he must like lemon juice, but Noodles just eat. Last night he was sitting eating raw broccoli, and then he had carrot ribbons, because Sophie makes ribbons out of the carrots with a potato peeler and gives it to the dogs. And he eats the most bizarre things, Noodles. He doesn't seem to have any qualms about eating anything you give to him. He eats wood. He eats if you leave something still. He actually has cost us a fortune in bedclothes, because he plays with them so much that they develop holes and he takes the stuffing out of things. Honestly, you just can't leave that dog to himself. He's full of mischief and nonsense. So, I don't know if there's any more questions. And then Boom will be away. Boom and Larky, we don't want to mix, because Larky has always been a dominant dog. Now, while Boom is very submissive, I think you all remember the issues we had with Larky and Jiminy, and we really don't want to start that sort of interaction again. So when Boom comes back, Larky will go back over. No, Noodles is banned from the outreach visits because he snapped at one of our volunteers. So he came home in disgrace, and then was demoted to non-volunteer dog. So there. And It's the most peculiar thing. I would suggest it's probably because he's spoiled. That when things don't go his way, he'll let you know about it. He's a very funny dog. So yeah, he's not welcome on outreach visits. And it's a real shame because he's actually such a happy, sociable little stinker. But you just never know when you've got a rescue dog what you've got. He doesn't behave like that in the house, but whatever. And it could be that he was out with, different people, different dogs. I don't know. So he's banned, in disgrace, but we still love him. So no, he will not be on outreach. Oh, the pellet stove is being tweaked, and then we're waiting for the building control to come out and check it, and then yes. Yeah, we always do what's right for the animals, whether it's the dogs, the donkeys, or anything else we've got kicking around. Although that turkey is an absolute stinker. He's a pest, and the other female turkey, she goes missing at night time, and what she does is she goes to the furthest away corner of Chaos Hill, which is actually up close to my house. So to go and she roosts on the ground. So to go and bring her in, you have to go way up the steep hill, way down the other side of the steep hill, and then it's lethal. So I thought, it's going to be far better. Normally you're going up and down there when it's icy and snowy. I thought, you know what? Everything's defrosted. No. It's full of fir needles, and they're slippy as anything and really deep. So going to retrieve her is such a treat. You slip and slide all over the place. She's a monkey, but she's in at the moment, and that's all that matters. And apparently there was some very nasty, vicious rumour that there was a snowstorm headed our way on, I think, Thursday and Friday. I cannot see any sign of it on the weather app, so I'm not sure if that's just somebody getting me all wound up, or if there genuinely is a weather front coming in. But I can't really find anything on the weather app, so I'm hoping that was just nonsense. Oh yes, Sally's just fine. She's in the cow stall. So she lives in there. So they've got an outside and an inside. So she's so funny. When I go in and muck that stall, she follows me around and she just sits down, and it's like she's telling me all the bits I've missed. So she's really super. She just likes being with you. So she wanders around and then plops herself down. It's really quite nice. And my smaller goats. Oh yes, I'm talking about the turkey that stays with the smaller goats. She's the one that goes over the other side. No, we've got one tom turkey. So the pair of turkeys that are on the opposite side of the goats, that's a tom turkey and a hen. So, yeah. Sunny all week for us. Speaks of snow. I don't know where that rumour came from. I've told Carleen that she has to go and check the weather when she watches the news, because I'm not very accurate. She says she's not either. So I think that's us. I'm going to go and finish barn chores. I've got another little coat for Peanut to see if this one fits her a bit better, because the one that she's wearing, honestly, it's enormous. It kind of drowns her. So I'm going to take that with me to Meredith and get this place finished off, and hopefully get the trailer over. That's a really quite a comment, because I think it is absolutely hilarious. Elvis and Jenny are lying down, and then all the birds just come and sit down. Apart from the blackbird, she doesn't seem quite so keen. But the bird, she comes and just plops herself down, and Sally comes over, and it's really actually very sweet. Ah, that's what it is. The forecasters haven't decided what's happening with the storm. But I'd like to put in an order for warmer, sunnier weather, and that would be fantastic. Thank you. Yeah. No baby turkeys. I'm really hoping no baby turkeys. Those turkeys are enormous, very heavy, and they eat so much. It's they take up so much room. It's hilarious. I think we've got enough going with the 3 at the moment. I don't think I would want any more than 3 really. And you've got to remember, those ducks over there, they've got a whole paddock and 2 ponds for themselves. They've just spread out. Okay. Oh, baby turkeys, that does not bear thinking about. I'm worried enough about rabbits. Oh, goodness. Right, I'll see you tomorrow because it's Tuesday. That's only if I'm still standing by the end of the day. Because it's going to be a busy, busy day. Right. Oh my goodness.